we have confirmation of what actually happened with Donovan Mitchell. Did he ask for a trade? Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys, like always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And I think there's like a new hype button. If you see that below, hit the hype button. Let's see what happens with that. All right, so this is something that we've talked about on this channel for 3 years. It's been a while since Donovan Mitchell was traded. 2-3 years. I can't remember exactly what it is, but either way, the talk about Donovan Mitchell, I have mentioned it many times, and this is something I had heard a while ago, and I think I've hinted at this. I probably even just said it on the podcast for those that have been longtime watchers and listeners. Recently, on the Jazz Notes podcast, Ben Anderson confirmed something that a lot of us knew from talking to people close to the Jazz. He, on the Jazz Notes podcast, you can go listen to it. It's the latest one. Go listen to it. Give him a follow. About the 45-minute mark of that podcast, Ben Anderson talks about the different beat writers that he works with. And there was a question that he answered asking, are there certain stories that you can talk about or don't want to talk about? And he talked a little bit about relationships after he mentioned this. But this was a story that a lot of them knew about, that Donovan Mitchell did, in fact, ask for a trade behind the scenes with the Utah Jazz. And he confirmed that. Something I knew because I had talked to people close to the Jazz and they had told me. Not a big surprise considering all the rumors out there, but it is nice to hear that it is confirmed. And it is, at this point, it's all conjecture. We don't know all the details of what happened. Is this the thing that set off all the trades? Possibly. If the Jazz knew he wanted out. I mean, when you go look at that last playoff game with the Dallas Mavericks where Donovan Mitchell was just loafing it on defense, did not care about winning that series, it really looked like the end. And we know all the conflict that was going on with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. So we knew all that. What's interesting, if you go back to the interview that he had with Brian Windhorst and him talking about being surprised that the Jazz traded big fella Rudy Gobert and also being surprised at the trade of Royce O'Neal, well, that's all phony. That was obviously a PR setup. And he had asked for a trade out of the Utah Jazz. So what did he expect? Well, the Jazz, you have to give them credit, got ahead of all of this so that they got all this stuff in return that they did do with the Rudy Gobert trade, the Royce O'Neal trade, the Donovan Mitchell trade, and every other trade they did. The Mike Conley trade, getting the Lakers pick, all these different moves that got them these different picks. It's probably all, this is just my opinion, but my guess is because I know that the Jazz he had asked for a trade twice during that season. You can go listen to the Ben Anderson and talk and listen to how he described it. But anyways, Utah knew this was coming, and they gave their best in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell didn't. If you go watch the series, you can go see it. And, that's probably what set off a lot of what's going on with that team that offseason. If you remember also, Quinn Snyder is gone at that point after that offseason. It was a huge change for the Utah Jazz. It's just nice to know for everyone who made comments in the comments section saying Donovan Mitchell didn't. I think this just, I don't know. People probably don't even want to watch me sit here and just kind of gloat about this. I don't know. But I will say the four greatest words in the English language, at least it's a really good combo, is I told you so. I told you. And so when I knew some of those things, and let me tell you, one thing we can learn from this is that these reporters that are plugged in, like the Windhorst, the McMahons, the Bill Simmons was on this for a while. He was on it. And, It's a reminder that when those reporters talk, and I've done this for a while. The rumors that I write about, they only come from reputable sources. When I talk about them here, it's because they come from the reputable sources that know these things. They're connected to players, they're connected to agents, they're connected to managers. Sometimes these people are connected to family, friends, and things like that. People that are in the know in people's circles and things like that, that know what's going on. When these people talk about it, it's because it's real. So when you hear rumors that are going on right now about certain players on the Jazz right now, you should pay attention, because this same thing happened before. Remember, before Donovan Mitchell was traded, the Jazz were saying, oh, we're okay building around Donovan Mitchell. We're okay building around Donovan Mitchell. Yet we'd hear all these rumors about him and the Knicks, and all these different other rumors constantly that offseason. Well, it was all based in reality. That stuff was going on. Thank heavens the Jazz were able to make it. I mean, you have to give credit for the Utah Jazz that they were able to get such a good trade for a player asking out, which means he took away a lot of the leverage that the Jazz had. Instead, Utah gets an all-star caliber player in Lauri Markkanen and picks and swaps. Really impressive stuff. So, just a very nice I told you so moment, and I hope what we do from this is learn that when we hear those other rumors from the same sources talking about Jazz players right now, it likely means they've heard something that is actually true. And I know that it's hard for a lot of us. I tend to be a little different than the average casual fan who's just excited to watch the Jazz and wants them to win. I get a lot of enjoyment out of the strategy, out of the way you are building a team. That's what gets me that's what gets me going, is how you build a team to win a championship. And, how you get that guy on your team and all these different things. The Jazz have been doing things the way have always hoped they will. And I kind of have some hopes for how this season will go. And I have a feeling that the Jazz are going to do some things to make sure they still keep that top 8 pick and likely get a top player in this draft where they can get an absolute superstar. And honestly, that's what this is all about. I just talking about me personally and what I want the Jazz to have that guy that you know that he's going to be in the MVP conversation. He's going to lead you deep into the playoffs, like the Jazz had with Karl Malone and then his sidekick, John Stockton. I want that again. Growing up, watching that my whole childhood and into my teen and formative years was incredible. And I know there's a lot of fans that didn't get to see that. And let me tell you, it is worth it. When you have that, it's incredible, and that's what the Jazz want. Sorry, this went a little long, guys, but I wanted to talk about this. Listen to the right rumors and right reporters, and it'll lead you to the truth. Got to do a little bit of reading between the lines, but that's what we're here for. All right, guys, like and subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you next time.